Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. So, I've had a bit of a problem with my VR cable. I'm using the Quest Pro, it's just charging up now, and I just can't seem to hold the charge while I'm, in this case, Flight Sim, DCS World. It's just go down and down and down. After about 45 minutes to an hour, it's down to 20%, which is really no good. Now, I did say on one of my videos to do with, I think it was about the Quest Pro. So if you look on there, this here, whether you can see, let me just move. Just move over a little bit so you can see it. I'll just put that. Okay. You can see here, this is the cable I've returned. This was the first one. Where again, this seems to be a theme. I'm onto my fourth cable now, and I'm trying to remember which ones. This is the first one I sent back, and it worked once, kept it at 100, went to 80%. It's supposed to be 2 amps to 3 amps. Next time I used it, stopped working. Just straight on, just like as if you had a normal link cable, which is no good. Right, so I sent that one back. I also bought this 45 watt or 65 watt Anchor power breaker, small breaker, just goes into the mains and then you plug into your item. So I bought that, and that's what I'm using now. So this ain't the problem. So it's got enough power. So I sent that back. If I just find, then I bought this as well. This got returned. This was let's have a look. I mean, I did a video of this and it worked great about 2 or 3 times. So you plug your link cable in the bottom, and you plug battery, which it's uncharged, so I don't want to move it at the moment, but on the back of the Quest, you just plug a battery on, Bravo VR battery, and I thought that's it. I can just keep adding batteries, and I've got quite a few of them. This thing stopped working. I don't know why they just stopped working. So this had to go back. Yeah, as you can see. I don't know where it's gone to now. Anyway, so I'm using that still. I've tried so many things. This had to go back, as you can see, returned. Go back to number 1. There's another cable. This is the latest one I've just picked up, £34, and that's it here. Yeah, that's what it comes in. I'll show you in a second. Let's see if we can get this one to work. I don't think there's anything else down there to do with this. Nah. So this is the one I'm going to talk about now. So let me just move myself over a little bit, over to that way. Yeah. So you can see 39 quid, £40, you get £5 off. And this is what we're going to try now. So that the one I'm using at the moment, which I can't find, it must have been, that's the one I'm using like right now. Yeah, that's the make, which is, I can't, yeah, Q-Ject. It's all from China. They all look the same. They've all got a little box, like a little control box, like here. You plug this end into the, in my case, it's going to be that power brick I've just talked about, 65 watts. And then this goes into the computer. Now it's going into an SS slot, which is the fastest I've got on the back of the computer, dedicated for VR, it says. And I know it works because it worked once, twice, let's just say twice. And you can see the cable here. And now what it says on the instructions on this part, it says that you've got to plug steps, do step 1, then 2, then 3, then 4 to get the chip to recognize what you're doing. And this one will be no different. So this is the new cable. I haven't even opened it yet. That's the one you're looking at on the screen. Yeah. They all look fancy. Whether it's going to work or not, I don't know. So what I'm going to do is let's have a look. Oh yeah, so difference between this one and the other ones. Oh yeah, the other one I'm using as a little, you just put your USB into there, where this is already built in. See, if I can show you it. Yeah, there's the Type C, which is going to there because there's two of them coming out. So that's the difference, and that'll plug into this. I'm hoping this is going to work. I just thought I'd need to mention it because really this is the fourth one, and they've all seemed to last once or twice and then it just falls off. I don't understand why, because it all seems to be functioning. The bandwidth's okay. Just it's something to do with this, I think, this USB Type C, which is, I mean, I think this, the normal Type A, I think, is it giving you like maybe half an amp, maybe 800 milliamps, but then the rest of it, the Type C should be giving you 2 to 3 amps. Now I know the Quest Pro is a hungry beast, but still, it's almost as if this Type C bit is not working, and you're just onto the 500 milliamps from the Type A. That's what it feels like, because when it did work, it maintained 80%. Like, and I put a timer on my watch, and then about an hour later I checked and it was on 80%, so it's lost 20%. Then I checked another hour later and it was on 80% still, or maybe 1% down. It kept going up and down, but the chip was giving it what it needed. So I said, oh brilliant, it was working. And then the last, say, 4 or 5 times I've tried unplugging it, doing different. I've tried to plug it in first, then start the PC, then unplug it, start the PC first, unplug it that way, and nothing works. So I've resorted to buying a new cable. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch the cable over. I'll be back shortly and I'll let you know whether it works. I might put some footage up as well. I'm hoping this is the one. 40 quid. What it says down here in the specs, there's the size of it, nylon. I'm sure it said so yeah, if you're starting off from 10%, this is what it's supposed to do, charge while you're playing. Now on a Quest 2, maybe, I have no doubts, but as long as it works like this and it holds it, even if it dropped slowly over 1 hour, 2 hour, even 3 hour, I'd be happy. But I'm getting, at the moment, it's dropping down to about here in 1 hour. There you go, for PC to Quest 2. So the Quest 2 is nowhere near as hungry as the Pro. 10 watts. So me 65 watt power supply, I'm supplying, should be ample to keep that battery topped up, or even just drop off slowly. So I've tried pretty much, not all of them, but I've went for one of the most expensivest ones. I mean, this guy says, well, maybe it doesn't work, but all the rest of them seem to say that it works on the Quest 2. I've never found anyone using the Pro C. All the rest of them seem to be positive. Yeah, so I thought I would give it a try, better than the blah blah blah. So yeah guys, I'm going to disconnect this one I'm using, which is just up here at the moment. It's going over the top of me, and I'm going to plug it in, go by the instructions, because there was the little instructions and you've got to go by what that says to first, like, initialize it, I think. But the writing's that small, I'm going to have to get a magnifying glass to read this thing. So what I'll do is be back shortly and I'll see what it's like. Also, if you can see on screen, that's that I had that one because I thought, oh, 15, 16 pound. It was actually 20 when I bought it. It's gone down. I sent that back, and I've had about 3 other ones I've sent back. I lost count which of they are. I've got this one at the moment. This is the one I'm using at the moment. Or is it that one? So many. But anyway guys, I'll be back shortly and we'll see how this thing goes. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. So this is going to be the end part of the video. It's about this cable. So the video's been, or the time wise, since I've had this cable, I've tried multiple cables, as you know. This one's name is JSAUX, JANX, whatever you call it, but you can see it there. If I can just point it out here. This is what it's called. This is what I paid for it. You got a £5 voucher. So this, it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, long enough to prove that this is working. I've used it every single day and it's never run out of power. So this for me is working. So I'm gonna 100% say this is a good cable. I'll pop up a little bit of video just while we have been using it. I'll put up a bit of video in DCS. Yeah. So this is, actually there's the cable, you can see it plugged in. Using the Quest Pro, which is in my opinion the best headset around. Just gonna fly the Apache. I'll just move on a bit more. There's no sound because I've turned the sound off, but bear in mind this is only in one eye, so you're only going to be out of one side. This is the right eye, I think. Yeah, so obviously there's two of them, so good quality, nice and smooth. Even though it looks a bit jittery on the screen, it's absolutely super smooth with the setup I've got. And the setup I've got is, I'm using about 64 gigs of RAM, Corsair Vengeance RAM. I've got a RX 7900 XTX, which is the XFX version, which has got 24 gigabytes of RAM, VRAM. Really game changer for me. The headset, so I'll bring it over and show you. That is there. Just put it up there. This thing is got 12 gigs of VRAM. So that with the 24 gigs of RAM and the 64, and also I'm running on a fast M.2 drive or NVMe drive. So that is the absolutely fantastic headset. In my opinion, the best. There's the cable. There's a little light on it, so it's fully charged on the top. I mean, you can see that it's flickering, but it's not flickering on there. It's just this. That's permanently green. So looking at the screen, you can see me using it there. And only thing I couldn't record the values, but it went from, because I timed it on my watch. So I put my watch on, timed it, done a mission like this mission type of thing. I'll just speed up a bit so you can see a bit of footage. And then after an hour, I'll quickly look down to make sure it was an hour, because I can. On the Quest, you've got a gap underneath here. You can just look down and it's actually still. That's why I like the Quest, because it's not on your face. There's a gap here where you can see down. I can see my keyboard to my right and such. I'll just speed up a little bit because this is a long mission. I just want to show you what it looks like and what I'm doing in the headset. So it went from 100% down to about an hour. This is about an hour's mission, and I went down to 80%, and it stayed at 80%. I think it dropped down and then it came back up, but it was maintaining. Checked it then, really happy. Done the mission, done another mission, so that's like about 4 hours maybe, and it was still around about 80%. Sometimes it was dropping down to 78, 79, and then it was going back up again. But let's just say I put the headset down after a couple of hours, went downstairs, made a cup of tea or coffee or something, back upstairs, it was nearly charged back up again. It was in the 90s. So this is a fantastic cable in my opinion. Yeah, that is there. Goes over the top. down to my computer at the back. And the bandwidth's good. I think, let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick look. I think, sure it's 10 gigabits, 10 gigabits a second. Yeah, gigabits, not gigabytes. Gigabits a second. So yeah, that's so yeah, it's working really good. I'll show you some night footage. I love this module. This DCS module is fantastic. Once it gets finalized and you've got the fire control radar, you can see me looking down now. I'm looking down at this screen here. We've got our map and we've got our TADs, which George up front's looking at. It's just so massive. And we've got some targets out yonder. For there. There you go, I'm selected that target there. I've turned my IADs off. Let George just fire automatically. I can do it manually, I could go to the front, but the pilot's job is just to pilot, and the gunner's job, there you go, you just launched a missile, in this case Lima, AGM, Air-to-Ground Missile Lima, which is radar guided. So technically I could just bank off now, I don't need to. And this cable, because you get so immersed, without this cable it's just not the last part of the puzzle. There you go, shark. There's target destroyed. Let's just move on a little bit. See if I'll show you some night footage before I finish this video, because I don't want it to be too long. It's just being able to turn your head and get that full. Don't forget there's only one eye. The other eye would be over to the, obviously, over to the left. And what I like about it as well is in the Apache you've got a monocle over your right eye, which is a night vision monocle for a thermal. If you close one eye, if you close your right eye, it disappears, just like as if it's really over that right eye. So it gives you that, so you can close your right eye and look at your controls on a night time and then open it back up again. So I'm just doing that with the earth here. My target's over to the right. I've got a target selected. If you notice, we have a target selected, which is if you look at the field regard box, it's over there, just there, look where my point is. So I'm going to turn in and then shoot. So if some sites were like trying to detect me, there you are, I'm turning in now. You see it's just there, see the little dot? That's the target I've selected. I'm going to put it in, that's where I'm looking. So I'm going to turn in shortly, put it in the center, launch the missile and then turn off. That's the plan. If you just watch this, it's still over to my right. I'm evading enemy missiles or detection, really low. It's about 40 feet off the ground. Just watching out for telephone poles and electrical wires. I go left first before I cut into the right, and then you'll see this little dot where my pointer is. Get closer, here he goes, it's getting closer, and you should see a launch any second. There's the missile away, tuck back in, drop my altitude, get hid behind these buildings, and there's the missile on track, radar guided, and I'm away. Buff shack. There you go. This machine is just amazing, and I could do a ripple. I could actually launch up there and launch 16 missiles if I wanted to, all at independent targets. I could plan them all first, raise up, launch 16 independent missiles, and then just peel off away and you're gone. And if you're doing this at night time, it's just like, imagine like 4 or 5 of these all hunting. Yeah, scary thought. Anyway, so I'll just close that down a bit night vision, a bit nighttime flying. Show you that before we end the video. I'll just spin on a little bit. Okay, so it's a lot darker than this in VR. I mean, you can set it differently, but I couldn't see that runway as much as you can see now, so it's a little bit different in VR. It's a bit darker, so you need obviously to use your night vision. There's no night vision turned on at the moment. I'm just using the cockpit display controls, and I'm just going to set up looking for my targets. There's waypoint 1, and I'm setting all my controls with my comms down here and my flares, early warning, and me night vision. I'll turn on shortly. Bearing in mind this is only one eye. Yeah, this cable is fantastic, guys. I would definitely think about picking one up if you're struggling with this is about the 4th one I've tried, and I think I've got lucky, and that's why I've done this video, so you didn't have to go through the same grief of sending things back all the time. Now, it might not work, so don't blame me if yours doesn't work, but it works for me. Let's put that over there. It works for me. Let me just spin on a bit. So that's me night vision. This allows me to see over my right eye only. If I close my right eye, that disappears. Also, you can, because it's using the sensors at the front of the aircraft. Yeah, right at the front. It's about 10 feet away from your eye, so you get this parallax a little bit. So if you look 90 degrees to the side, you'll see like a ghosting. That's because your eye's at a different point to where you're looking to where the sensor is. So you'll see like a double image a little bit. But we're looking forward, you're okay. You can change like white hot, dark hot. All your controls are here for your night vision. They're white hot, dark hot. We're changing to. We're on flare, forward looking infrared. So I can't really see anything in VR, but on the screen it's recording a bit lighter. I'm just setting things up. Let's just take off a bit. So we've took off now. Let's go back a bit. Okay, we're taking off now. Switched over to night vision. This is like not thermal. This is using just light emitting, so it gets the ambient light and intensifies it. So it's night vision intensifier, which is more true to life, but it's like out of focus here and focused here. Yeah. Bear in mind I've got 2 of these. There's another one here which overlaps, so it's a bigger thing. So you've got two lenses, not just the one. But it's because it's 1-to-1 and it's focusing where it's like right over my eyeball. That's why it feels better than the TADs. As we miss ours there, we're just leaving the airport. I'll just go a bit quicker. Back over to this. This gives me all my information. Say, so now I've got my altitude 350, 360 feet, speed 64 knots, 60% torque on the main rotor. We've got a head and tape. I've got Hellfire selected, radio guided. Waypoint 1, 33.3 kilometers to our waypoint, which is that thing there. We've got the TADs fixed. I'm going to change that to TADs. And then the pilot's head mounted display is what we're seeing. That's where I'm looking. So if you watch this, when I move my head, that moves. That's where the pilot, the gunner's looking. He's just looking forward because I haven't told him what to do. But when a new patch comes out where George will be scanning. So George's job is to be on the TADs, and he'll be like scanning for like targets in this field of regatta box. It's my job to fly there and not crash into buildings or hills and move the aircraft to where he wants to be. In this case, we're going to the waypoint 1, which is the home plate there. You can see artificial horizon, so we're banking over, and then this is where George is looking. So the bandwidth of the cable is excellent. I have no issues with that. Also with this, I can actually look through the aircraft. below me where my legs are. So there's me, you can see my leg there, and you won't see any of the aircraft, you won't see any of this. Well, you can see it because it's illuminated, but it's the sensors on the front of the aircraft, so you're actually looking through that. Your left eye seeing that. If I close my left eye, you won't see any of this, you'll just see this. If I close my right eye, you won't see this, you'll just see this. Yeah. So what it's good for, if you're landing, and I switch between night vision and this because it gives me a better spatial awareness. And you can change the intensify, you can make it brighter or darker. But we know that there's a 33 kilometers on the coast, there's a base, air base, which has got some SAMs and bits and bobs, and we're going to go out and destroy them SAM site. An aircraft which is landed on the runway, we're going to have to destroy that troop carrier. So what we're doing is we're trying to keep low so we don't get spotted. That's our heading, 330. So if you move your head forward, it's just like real life, it'll get closer. And you can see out my peripheral vision, my left eye can see all this down here. And all I'm doing is I'm scanning for power lines, anyone shooting at us, so any traces, anything like that. I've turned all my lights out, so if you looked from the outside you wouldn't see anything, just my slime lights, which you need infrared to see that. But there's no lights, that's how dark it is. It's actually a bit worse than that actually. So you're just flying with this. You've got artificial horizon, you've got your altitude and your speed, 20 kilometers, ETA 8 minutes. This is a ball trim, so this is trimming nose to tail trim. So if I'm launching missiles, especially rockets, I want to be trimmed out so the aircraft's straight, not because helicopters don't fly in a straight line, they fly skewed off to the wind. Yeah guys, so that's about it really. I'm going to see a missile go and see if we destroy another target, so I'll just spin on a bit. We're getting closer to the target here. You're looking for any signs of anybody spotted us. And also I have a rumble chair behind me, this thing, HF8, this rumbles, so if I stall or I get dead air or go to anything like that or fire the missiles, then it rumbles to let me know the gun. The cockpit shakes with a 30mm cannon, so the seat shakes as well, type of thing. But for flying I can actually feel through the seat what the engines are doing. I can feel the engine struggling, I can feel the blades biting, really good. So yeah, we're what, 11 kilometers to our target here now. We've got our thermal imager down here as well, that's George, so that's his screen up front. A bit closer, 7 kilometers. We're nearly there now. We could shoot, we could actually within range. I'm just using this to check for any power lines, because sometimes you can get like tunnel vision and miss out what's the bigger picture type of thing. So I'll switch over to this and it gives me a better spatial awareness. Just checking my compass there. Because it's not thermal, I can't actually see any information. That's why I have to switch back to the IADs so I get altitude information. I'd prefer it if I could focus in onto this, and that could be blurred, so I don't really see. I'm getting a bit close to the ground now. I can't tell because I've got no dials. Altitude, I can't see my altitude, so I have to just look and say, oh, feels okay. But just, you might miss a power line and that's it, it's no good, you're going to crash. So we switch back over to here, we're at 200 feet. There's our home plate, 4.8 kilometers. So now we're just going to crest this little ridge line and then try to get some target information. How George is going to get some, there's a car there just passing. George is going to get some target information, and then I'm going to try and find the SAM, because that's the most danger. And then I'm going to launch a missile on him, that SAM site. Once I've took that SAM site, it should be safe. I can go in with the guns, and because the missiles are about 250 grand a piece in real life, and I've got 16 of them, so I don't want to just pop them off like as if they were nothing. So yeah, I need a good reason, like armor. I wouldn't shoot one at a truck because it's just waste. I could just use a 30mm. But if I couldn't get to the truck because there's too much incoming fire, I could pop up, shoot, drop down. Yeah. You could even launch without detection in that general area, and it'll try and find something. But because we're in a built-up area, this is Greece. I think that's RF Akrotiri over to the left, which is a simulated Russian base. But yeah, there's real villages I can't shoot on them, so you couldn't really use that technique. But if I was in the desert and I knew the enemies, there's nothing else there, then I could just pop up launch, like, and then it's hopefully let it find something. But it might not hit the right target. It'll certainly radar pick up something. There we go. We're 2.4 kilometers, so there's a little reservoir. I think this is a reservoir here. Is it? Or the reservoir might be. I can't really see, but I'm going to pop up over. Just having a check. Another reservoir must be over this next little ridge line. Let's go a bit quicker. There's the moon. Looks like the sun, but it's the moon. Yeah, so you can't actually see any of your controls. You know they're there, but you can't read anything. That's what real night vision's like. A little bit closer, so now we're back over here. We're only like 7 kilometers to target, 5 minutes out. A little bit closer. I'm trying to remember what this mission was. Like the topography. I think. Closer. Yeah, alright, I know where we are. I remember this. So I'm keeping low down so I don't get pinged by the air to ground to air. So I'm going under these power lines. I have to like make sure that I'm low enough, which is about 25 feet off the ground. I've got wheels on the front, so I could even touch the wheels if I had to. It's not the end of the world. Okay, so we've cleared that. And now we're coming up to get some information on our targets. Nice and slowly raising up. I'm just looking for any missile shots. I think there are enemies down here. Could be, I'm not sure, but that's why my head's back left and right all the time. Oh, there we go. They're just there. So I've got the information now and come back down. By the way, this doesn't have the it doesn't have the fire control radar on, the big dome on the top. So you have to get a visual contact and then lock them up. So I'm coming back round. I've told George to look in that area. George is looking now. He should classify something and give me a list. There you go. He's slaving. There you go. There's his list. So I've picked the list. Now I'm just lasering, getting a rangefinder. There's my missile away, and I should be banking off. No one's fired at me yet, so I'm not in a rush. I'm just dropping my altitude. There's the missile just there. I'm just getting clear of these power lines. I'm nice and safe now. Yeah, missile any second now. And you'd see it on the other panel. Yeah, there you go. So we hit the target destroyed. Well, right guys, I think we'll end that video here. So this is for this cable. If you're thinking about getting it, I would recommend it highly. I'll switch back over to there. In my opinion, it's fantastic. I have no issues with it at all. It's a bit pricey, but you get what you pay for. and it seems to have done the job. I just thought it's worth it doing a video because it's really important. And like I say, I've had about 4 of them, and this is the one what worked for me. I don't know why. Why is this one working and the other ones are not? One thing I did note is the USB. This one. Yeah, now we can see, but the big one, the Type A. I did have to move it once to a different port because it wasn't recognizing it, but that wasn't an issue, and I've never changed it since. So once it got sorted out, it's charged up and it's working great. Anyway guys, if you found it useful, give us a like, give us a sub if you don't mind, because I'm trying to build the channel. Any questions, leave them below and I will get back to you, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.